Imagine for a moment that you are never truly alone, not in a haunting sense, but in a way that is deeply reassuring, as though the universe itself is bearing witness to your existence. Every breath you take, every thought you think, every action you perform, it is all seen, known, and acknowledged. This is the essence of understanding that God has his eyes on you. But what does it mean for God or the universe, if you will, to observe you? It is not surveillance born of judgment or condemnation. Rather, it is attention born of love. Think of how sunlight touches every leaf in the forest, how the ocean envelops each grain of sand. This divine gaze does not impose but illuminates, revealing your intrinsic connection to the whole of creation. The idea that God has his eyes on you is a profound and transformative realization. It transcends the simplistic notion of being watched in a physical sense and instead invites you into a deeper understanding of your place in the grand design of existence. Divine attention is not about scrutiny or judgment. It is a gentle yet unwavering acknowledgement of your intrinsic value and your unique role in the intricate web of life. To grasp this concept, imagine the way sunlight bathes the earth. It does not discriminate between the great mountain peaks and the smallest blades of grass. Everything, no matter how grand or minute, receives its light. Similarly, the attention of the divine is impartial and all-encompassing, reaching into every corner of existence. You are no exception. In this light of awareness, your existence is affirmed not as an isolated being, but as an integral part of a greater whole. The divine gaze serves as a reminder that you belong, that you are seen, and that you matter. This notion of being seen goes beyond mere observation. It carries with it a profound sense of purpose. If God has his eyes on you, it means that your life is not random or insignificant. Every thought you entertain, every action you take, and every moment you experience contributes to a greater narrative. Just as a single note in a symphony might seem insignificant on its own, it becomes essential when played in harmony with the others. Similarly, your life is a note in the universal melody. Divine attention underscores the fact that your presence here is meaningful and necessary. The recognition that you are under the gaze of a higher power has the power to dissolve feelings of invisibility or unimportance. It's easy in the vastness of the world to feel as though your existence is a mere speck in an infinite void. But divine attention challenges this perspective. If the creator of the cosmos is aware of you, then how could you be insignificant? The very act of being observed imbues you with worth. This is not a worth that needs to be earned through achievements or external validations. It is an inherent worth that comes simply from being alive. Moreover, the nature of divine attention is not intrusive or oppressive. It does not demand perfection or conformity. Instead, it invites you into a space of authenticity and growth. Just as a gardener tends to each plant with care, understanding its unique needs, the divine gaze acknowledges your individuality. It sees your strengths, your struggles, and your potential, not with judgment, but with compassion. It is as if the universe itself is rooting for your growth and flourishing. This awareness also shifts your perception of the challenges and trials you face. Under divine attention, your struggles are not meaningless burdens, but opportunities for growth and transformation. The gaze of God sees the bigger picture that you might not yet perceive. It holds the knowledge that even your most difficult moments are part of a journey leading to deeper wisdom, resilience, and understanding. This perspective doesn't trivialize your pain, but places it within a context of hope and purpose. Living with the understanding of divine attention also brings a sense of responsibility. To be seen is to be called into alignment with the values and intentions that reflect the higher purpose of life. It is an invitation to act with integrity, kindness, and courage. Knowing that your actions are witnessed imbues them with significance. It encourages you to live not just for yourself, but in a way that contributes to the greater good. The awareness of divine attention is a profound source of comfort and empowerment. It assures you that you are never alone, that your life is part of something vast and meaningful, and that every moment matters. It is a reminder that the universe is not indifferent to your existence, but deeply engaged with it, holding you in a space of constant, loving awareness. This realization has the power to transform the way you see yourself in the world, inspiring you to live with a renewed sense of purpose, connection, and hope. The idea of interconnectedness under the gaze of the divine reveals a profound truth about existence. Nothing in the universe exists in isolation. Everything is intricately linked, from the tiniest atom to the vastness of galaxies. When we say that God has his eyes on you, it is not merely about individual attention, it is an acknowledgement of how deeply your life is interwoven with all that exists. This interconnectedness is the essence of being, and recognizing it transforms not only how we see ourselves, but also how we understand the world around us. To begin, consider the relationships that sustain life. Every breath you take connects you to the trees, which give oxygen and take in carbon dioxide. The food you eat is the result of countless processes: sunlight, soil, water, and human effort, all combining to nourish your body. These physical connections are just the surface of a much deeper truth. Life itself is an intricate dance of interdependence. When the divine gaze observes you, it observes not just an isolated individual, but a being whose very existence is tied to everything else. This interconnectedness means that your actions ripple outward in ways you may not always perceive. Think of a single drop of rain falling into a pond. The ripples it creates extend far beyond the point of impact, touching every corner of the water. Similarly, every choice you make, every word you speak, and every thought you entertain sends ripples into the world. Divine attention reminds us that these ripples matter, that our lives are not separate threads, but integral parts of a vast, unified tapestry. Recognizing this truth can shift your perspective on your place in the world. It is easy to feel small and insignificant in the face of the universe's immensity. But when you understand that you are part of an interconnected whole, your perspective changes. You are not merely a single drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in a single drop. Your existence carries the essence of the entire cosmos, and in turn the cosmos is reflected in you. This understanding dissolves the illusion of separateness and fosters a sense of belonging. Interconnectedness also invites us to reconsider the nature of individuality. While it is true that each person has a unique identity, this individuality does not exist in opposition to the whole. Instead, it is like a single note in a symphony. Each note has its distinct character, but it gains its full meaning and beauty only in relation to the other notes. Your uniqueness is not diminished by your connection to others, it is enhanced. Divine attention sees you not as an isolated entity, but as a vital and irreplaceable part of a greater composition. This perspective carries profound implications for how we treat others. When you understand that you are interconnected with all of life, it becomes impossible to view others as entirely separate from yourself. Their joys, struggles, and aspirations are linked to yours. This realization fosters empathy, compassion, and a deep sense of responsibility. The divine gaze observes not only you, but the relationships that bind you to others, encouraging you to live in a way that honors these connections. Interconnectedness also brings a sense of meaning to even the smallest moments of life. In a world where everything is connected, no action is insignificant. A kind word, a simple gesture, or a quiet moment of reflection, all of these have value because they contribute to the greater whole. Divine attention reminds us that the web of life is intricate and beautiful, and every thread matters. Interconnectedness reveals the unity underlying all diversity. While the world is full of differences, different cultures, beliefs, and ways of life, these differences are like the varied colors in a painting. Each adds depth and richness to the whole. Divine attention sees not just the differences, but the unity they create. It invites us to celebrate diversity while recognizing the underlying oneness that binds us all. In understanding interconnectedness, you come to see that the divine gaze is not something external. It is the awareness that flows through all of existence, including you. To live with this awareness is to live in harmony with the world, knowing that every moment, every being, and every experience is part of a larger, sacred whole. This is the essence of being seen by the divine not as a solitary individual, but as a cherished part of the interconnected web of life. When we consider the idea that God has his eyes on us, it calls us to reflect on the meaning and purpose of our lives. This divine attention is not passive, it gently urges us to look beyond the narrow confines of personal ambition and self-interest. Instead, it invites us to align with a purpose that transcends the individual, a purpose that connects us to the greater flow of life and the universal good. In this alignment, we find not only fulfillment, but also a profound sense of belonging to something far larger than ourselves. The concept of purpose is often misunderstood as a rigid, predefined path. Many people spend their lives searching for a singular calling, feeling lost or inadequate if it does not reveal itself. However, the divine gaze sees purpose in a broader and more dynamic way. It is not confined to a specific role or achievement, but is instead rooted in the act of living in harmony with the greater whole. Purpose beyond self is not about finding the perfect career or achieving monumental success. It is about how you contribute to the collective well-being, no matter your circumstances. This broader perspective liberates us from the pressure to define our worth through external accomplishments. Divine attention reminds us that purpose is not measured by the size of our impact, but by the sincerity of our intentions and the alignment of our actions with higher values. A simple act of kindness, a moment of genuine connection, or a commitment to living with integrity can be as meaningful as grand, world-changing deeds. In this sense, purpose is accessible to everyone, regardless of their situation or station in life. Living with a purpose beyond self requires a shift in focus. Instead of constantly asking, "What can I get?" we begin to ask, "What can I give?" This does not mean neglecting our own needs or desires. Rather, it is about recognizing that true fulfillment often comes from contributing to something greater than ourselves. When we act with the well-being of others in mind, whether it is our family, community, or the world at large, we align with the divine purpose that underlies all existence. This alignment brings a sense of peace and fulfillment that purely self-centered pursuits can never provide. Purpose beyond self also calls us to humility. It reminds us that while our individual lives are important, they are not the center of the universe. The divine gaze observes the entire tapestry of life, and each thread contributes to its beauty. Recognizing this can free us from the illusion of separateness and the ego's need for constant validation. Instead of striving to outshine others, we can focus on shining together, each in our unique way, as part of a greater whole. This understanding of purpose does not diminish individuality, rather it elevates it. When we align with a purpose beyond self, our individual gifts and talents find their highest expression. Just as a single tree contributes to the health of an entire forest, your unique qualities and contributions enhance the well-being of the whole. Divine attention sees these gifts and encourages you to use them, not just for personal gain, but as a means of serving the greater good. Living with a purpose beyond self fosters resilience and meaning in the face of challenges. Life inevitably brings hardships, but when we view our struggles through the lens of a higher purpose, they take on a new significance. Adversity becomes not just something to endure, but an opportunity to grow, to contribute, and to deepen our connection with others. Under the divine gaze, even our pain is not wasted. It is transformed into wisdom, compassion, and strength that can serve the collective good. Finally, purpose beyond self connects us to the timeless flow of life. It reminds us that we are part of a story that began long before we were born and will continue long after we are gone. This perspective can be both humbling and empowering. It encourages us to live with intention, knowing that our actions today shape the world of tomorrow. The divine gaze sees this continuum and invites us to play our part with grace and courage. To live with a purpose beyond self is to embrace the sacredness of life. It is to recognize that your existence is not an isolated event, but a vital part of the universal dance. It is to act with love, compassion, and integrity, knowing that every step you take contributes to the greater whole. Under the watchful and loving eyes of the divine, this purpose becomes not a burden, but a profound gift, a way to align your life with the infinite and eternal. The realization that God has His eyes on you can be profoundly liberating, especially when it comes to fear. Fear often arises from the perception of being alone, unworthy, or vulnerable in a vast, indifferent universe. It is fueled by uncertainty about the future, shame from the past, or a sense of inadequacy in the present. But when you truly understand that you are under the constant, loving gaze of a higher power, much of this fear begins to dissolve. This awareness offers not only comfort, but also the courage to live more fully and authentically. Fear thrives in isolation, feeding on the belief that we must navigate life's challenges alone. It whispers that no one sees our struggles or cares about our pain. Yet divine attention counters this narrative by affirming that you are never alone. God's gaze is not distant or detached, it is intimate and ever-present. Just as a parent watches over their child not to control but to support and guide, the divine gaze surrounds you with a sense of presence that eliminates the illusion of isolation. Knowing that you are seen, known, and loved by an infinite source of compassion transforms fear into trust. Much of our fear also stems from the idea that we are being judged by others, by ourselves, or even by God. This fear can lead to a paralyzing perfectionism where we are afraid to take risks or show vulnerability for fear of failure or rejection. But the divine gaze is not one of harsh judgment. It sees you as you are, in all your complexity, with a love that transcends flaws and mistakes. It recognizes your humanity, your struggles, and your efforts, offering grace rather than condemnation. This awareness frees you to live authentically, without the need for masks or pretenses. The fear of the unknown is another powerful force that holds many of us back. Life is full of uncertainties, and the future often feels like a vast, uncharted ocean. Yet, when you recognize that God's eyes are upon you, this fear begins to subside. The divine gaze does not just see the present moment, it encompasses the past, present, and future in a single eternal awareness. This means that you are not navigating the unknown alone. The path ahead may be unclear to you, but it is not hidden from the divine. Trusting in this higher vision allows you to step forward with courage, knowing that you are guided and supported even when the way seems dark. Fear also arises from a sense of vulnerability and awareness of our physical, emotional, and spiritual fragility. We fear loss, pain, and the inevitability of death. But under the divine gaze, vulnerability takes on a new meaning. It is no longer a source of weakness, but a space where grace can enter. Just as light shines most clearly through a crack, divine presence finds its way into the places where we feel most exposed and uncertain. This transforms vulnerability into a doorway to strength and connection. Another aspect of fear is the belief that our efforts in existence might be meaningless. This fear of insignificance can be deeply paralyzing, leading us to question whether anything we do truly matters. Yet, divine attention assures us that our lives are significant. If God has His eyes on you, then every moment of your existence is infused with meaning. Your joys, struggles, and contributions are not lost in the void, but are seen and valued as part of a larger, purposeful whole. This awareness replaces fear with a sense of dignity and worth. The liberation from fear does not mean the absence of challenges or uncertainties. Life will still present difficulties and fear may still arise. However, understanding that you are under the constant care of a higher power changes your relationship with fear. Instead of being consumed by it, you learn to move through it with trust and confidence. Fear becomes a reminder of your humanity and an opportunity to lean into the divine presence that holds you. Liberation from fear through divine attention is not about denying the realities of life, but about embracing them with a new perspective. It is about knowing that you are seen not as a small, separate being, but as a vital part of a larger sacred whole. It is about trusting that no matter what you face, you are held in a love that is infinite, unconditional, and eternal. This trust frees you to live boldly, to take risks, to grow, and to fulfill the unique purpose for which you were created. The idea that God has His eyes on you suggests something deeply comforting and transformative. The universe is not indifferent. Instead, it is an aware, participatory force that cares for you in your journey. This understanding reshapes how you perceive life, how you interact with others, and how you approach challenges. It assures you that your existence is not random, your experiences are not meaningless, and your presence in the world is part of a larger, interconnected story of care and purpose. To see the universe as caring is to recognize that it is not a cold, mechanistic system operating without regard for the beings within it. Instead, it is alive with intention and meaning. Every element of existence, from the smallest particle to the grandest galaxy, works in harmony to sustain life and create beauty. The cycles of nature, the intricate balances of ecosystems, and the astonishing order of the cosmos all point to a reality imbued with care. When you realize that you are part of this vast, intelligent design, you begin to sense that you too are cared for by the same forces that sustain the stars. This sense of care is not just abstract or theoretical, it is deeply personal. If God has His eyes on you, it means that your individual life matters in the grand scheme of things. Your joys, struggles, and contributions are not overlooked. This is not a surveillance born of judgment, but a loving awareness that honors your unique path. The divine gaze is one of affirmation, a constant reminder that you are seen and valued. This understanding can be a source of profound reassurance, particularly in moments when you feel small, lost, or insignificant. When you consider the idea of a caring universe, it also changes how you view challenges and hardships. Life is not free from pain, and suffering is a universal experience. However, the belief in a caring universe allows you to see these difficulties through a different lens. Instead of perceiving them as evidence of chaos or indifference, you can begin to see them as opportunities for growth, transformation, and deeper connection. The divine gaze does not shield you from challenges, but it accompanies you through them, providing guidance and strength. It reminds you that even in your darkest moments, you are not abandoned. This awareness of care extends to the relationships you share with others. When you understand that the universe cares for you, you begin to see that it cares for everyone else as well. This realization fosters a sense of unity and compassion. It becomes harder to view others as separate or as adversaries when you recognize that they too are under the same loving gaze. A caring universe calls you to act with kindness and empathy, to contribute to the well-being of others, and to participate in the larger story of care and connection. Living with the knowledge of a caring universe also encourages you to trust the unfolding of your life. There will always be uncertainties, unexpected turns, and moments when the path ahead seems unclear. Yet, if you believe that the universe is aware of you and invested in your journey, you can move forward with confidence. This trust does not eliminate challenges, but offers the assurance that you are supported even when the road is difficult. It allows you to let go of the need to control every outcome, embracing instead the flow of life with faith and courage. The idea of a caring universe also invites you to reflect on your own role within it. Just as the divine gaze sees and cares for you, it also calls you to embody that care in your own actions. You are not just a recipient of the universe's love and attention, you are also a participant in its ongoing creation. Every act of kindness, every choice to nurture rather than harm, and every effort to contribute positively to the world is a reflection of the care you have received. By aligning your actions with this greater care, you become an agent of the divine, extending its love and purpose into the world. Ultimately, the idea of a universe that cares is an invitation to live with hope, gratitude, and intention. It reminds you that you are not alone, that your life is meaningful, and that you are deeply connected to a loving, intelligent whole. Under the divine gaze, you are not just a passive observer of life, but an active participant in a sacred dance of care and creation. This perspective transforms not only how you see the world, but also how you show up in it, inspiring you to live with greater purpose, compassion, and joy. The overarching message of God has His eyes on you as a profound call to awareness, trust, and purpose. To know that you are under the constant, loving gaze of the divine is to realize that your existence is neither random nor insignificant. It is an invitation to see yourself as an integral part of a vast, interconnected whole, where every action, thought, and experience carries meaning and resonance. This awareness liberates you from fear, grounds you in a sense of belonging, and calls you to align with a purpose greater than yourself. The divine gaze is not one of scrutiny or judgment, but of unconditional love and infinite care. It reminds you that you are deeply seen, valued, and held by a force that transcends time and space. This gaze is not passive but active, encouraging you to step into your fullest potential while embracing your vulnerabilities and imperfections. It urges you to trust in the flow of life, to act with empathy and kindness, and to contribute to the collective good. In this understanding, life itself becomes sacred. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth, every connection is a chance to foster unity, and every moment is a reminder of the divine presence. To live under the eyes of God is to live with courage, compassion, and gratitude, knowing that you are part of a universe that cares deeply for you and invites you to care for others in turn. In embracing this truth, you discover not only the essence of your being, but also the boundless love and purpose that sustains it.